Again, free to $99,799.
Papa, why can't we telegraph while riding a horse?
Son, there ain't no one to blame but Jeffro. He was riding old Betsy the Stallion, tip-tapping away at his telegraph, when blam! Ran right into the side of the saloon.
Well, if Jeffro can't do it, neither should you. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Lisa Wolf here to tell you about our newest website for old-time radio lovers. It's 100radioshows.com. At this site, there are 5 old-time radio shows waiting for you to download free as our gift to you. And be sure to browse the additional 700 old-time radio shows available to you for 70% off by using the promo code RADIO at checkout. This is a limited-time offer, so log on to 100radioshows.com. That's 100radioshows.com.
What's up, everybody?
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Tasha Stevens. The Conservative Political Action Conference has begun. The event in Washington, D.C. will be headlined by former President Trump, who will make its keynote address Saturday before heading off to South Carolina for the state primary. Speaking at CPAC, GOP Congressman Byron Donalds of Florida says fellow House Republicans are prepared to shut down the government over border security.
My position to my colleagues on Capitol Hill is clear. You either secure the border or you get no money for the government.
And the Job Creators Network unveils a billboard in Times Square asking how the Biden administration can allow such chaos in New York and at the southern border.
Showing video of NYPD officers being recently beaten by a group of illegal migrants outside a taxpayer-funded shelter, the billboard reads, quote, "Hey, Joe, if cops aren't safe because of your open borders, nobody is." In a written statement, Alfredo Ortiz, the group's CEO, notes that the chaos at the border is affecting the entire country, including small businesses that face elevated costs. Edwin Mora, Washington.
A private U.S. lunar lander has touched down on the moon, but company officials say it was sending a weak signal. Intuitive Machines was striving to become the first private business to pull off a lunar landing, a feat achieved by only 5 countries. The craft's part of NASA's efforts to commercialize moon deliveries ahead of the planned return of astronauts. There hasn't been a U.S. spacecraft on the moon since the end of NASA's Apollo program. President Biden's dog Commander bites U.S. Secret Service personnel at least 24 times at the White House and other locations. Newly released internal documents say the bites happened between October 2022 and July of 2023. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Relief factor, pain relief that's natural, pain relief that works, and pain relief that attacks the source of the pain. That's the experience of tens of thousands of Americans who are taking Relief Factor right now. See their incredible video endorsements at relieffactor.com and then order your 3-week quick starter pack for just $19.95. That's less than $1 a day. Find out if it can work for you like it works for me by ordering your 3-week quick starter pack today. Relieffactor.com, relieffactor.com. Be the next success story.
Hi, this is Rhett Rasmussen of BestHotGrill.com. We make the amazing Solaire infrared gas grills that are built to last and will consistently deliver better than restaurant grilled food. The Solaire infrared burner heats up to 1,000 degrees in just 3 minutes, even in the dead of winter. The high heat locks in the juices and flavor and grills food faster. Learn more about these fantastic USA-made grills at BestHotGrill.com. Solaire, hot, fast grills at BestHotGrill.com.
Alabama is seeking to put a second inmate to death using nitrogen gas.
This move comes a month after the state carried out the first execution using the controversial new method. Alabama Attorney General Steve Marshall's office is asking the state Supreme Court to set an execution date for Alan Eugene Miller. The state said Miller's execution would be carried out by nitrogen hypoxia. 59-year-old Miller survived a previous execution attempt by lethal injection in 2022. He's convicted of killing 3 people in suburban Birmingham during a pair of 1999 workplace shootings. John Scott reporting.
A Texas judge rules that the Barbers Hill ISD did not violate a new Texas law when they suspended a black student over dreadlocks. 18-year-old Daryl George was told last August his hairstyle violated the district guidelines. He's been in in-school suspension for most of the school year. News and analysis at townhall.com. Well, it's going to cost more to get a mortgage.
Mortgage rates are creeping higher again. Mortgage buyer Freddie Mac says the average rate on a 30-year mortgage rose to 6.9% this week. That's a third straight weekly increase and the highest average rate since mid-December. The rate had been mostly easing after climbing to a 23-year high of 7.79% in late October. The recent rate increases could mean more financial pressure on home shoppers this spring home buying season. Still, many economists are forecasting mortgage rates will ease further in coming months. I'm Alex Vega.
Average annual percentage rates on credit cards are at record highs, according to analysis by the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Average APR on credit cards, nearly 23% in 2023. Toyota is recalling 280,000 vehicles in the U.S. due to an issue with the transmission. Officials say the vehicles may creep forward in neutral. The recall includes 22 to 2024 Toyota Tundra, Sequoia, and Lexus LX600. More at townhall.com.
Check 1 2. Hey.
Join me on a journey where getting lost is the only true destination. Where the past, present, and future all coexist on the same timeline. Where happiness is an illusion. This is the future we are in right now. Where our phones are the first things that we touch when we wake up, the last thing we touch before falling asleep. Radiant, seductive screens we so lovingly, endlessly gaze upon. Much like you're doing right now. Welcome to a future where our true reflection is only revealed once the screen goes dark. Welcome to the darkness. I hope you find it enlightening.
The loudspeaker spoke up and said, "Wait, Siri." The loudspeaker spoke up and said, "Wait, Siri." The loudspeaker spoke up and said, "Wait, Siri." Give up. Give up. Give up. Give up. Give up. Wait, Siri. Wait, Siri. Wait, Siri.
I'm Clyde Lewis, and this is GroundZero. The numbers to call tonight, 503-225-0860. Tonight, the callers have been hot. So if you want to call in, 503-225-0860. Tens of thousands of AT&T customers reported problems with their cell phone service this morning. If you look around the internet, you can find maps of the outages all across the United States. Customers of other networks also said they experienced problems, but of course, in a saving way, Verizon, T-Mobile, US Cellular said, well, it's because they were trying to call AT&T customers. It wasn't our fault. Nonsense. This is what AT&T says. It was a bug in the system. But now they're being investigated for a possible cyber attack. Not only were the phones affected, the Internet of Things were affected. Drugs were not being distributed by pharmaceutical companies. Down Detector said about 40,000 reports of service issues from AT&T customers around noon Eastern time. There was a peak of more than 70,000 reports because it was exponential, moved around like cancer, eating the whole 50 states here. Houston, Chicago, Dallas, San Antonio, New York City, Atlanta, Austin, Miami, Indianapolis, Charlotte, Louisville, Orlando, Oklahoma City, St. Louis, and Columbus. Just some of the cities that reported outages today. 911 centers were snarled. Some law enforcement officials noting that some people were calling the emergency number to test whether their phones were working. Officials were going to the news saying, please don't call 911 to test your phone. Hi, is 911 working? Click. Don't do that. And don't ever do that when you, just as a warning, don't ever do that when there are problems like this. It just screws up everything. It busies the circuit. One thing I think we can bank on here. I'm sure that the globalists of the World Economic Forum and the planners are taking notes on the cell phone failure because of Cyber Polygon. They can use this data to make a pitch for their secret phased array programs that we talked about in the last hour. Initially, the people who said this, talked about this great reset, were derided as crazy conspiracy theorists. But then it turns out that Klaus Schwab had written a book by the very title you could buy from Amazon about how we could take over with the open conspiracy, and it was all updated for the 21st century and using 21st century technology. And there turns out to be much more than that, obviously, going on. And the way to predict our future is to follow their plans, follow their sustainability goals, and how it appears they have a backup for every damn disaster that they seem to be behind, that they seem to have planned. Researching and realizing all this in real time has been a bit much, but it's shattered the old ideological paradigms. The old theories no longer explain the world as it's unfolding. It causes all of us to revisit history. It causes all of us to revisit our priors, at least those with minds adaptable enough to pay attention. And for the vast swaths of the intellectual class, well, that's not possible because they're using the media, the mainstream media, as their guide. And for them, it's all about pursuits and political ideologies that go nowhere. But, of course, people in political parties need to impress their friends with some shallow pleasantries to avoid being called an alarmist. Well, who's going to be there when the alarm rings and there's no one there to take the call? Shouldn't the phone system failures be a cause for alarm? Should there be transparency as to why the failures happened in the first place? Or are we to accept this? Are we to accept the convenient press release that basically covers the corporate south end? They want to avoid embarrassment, so they'll just say, oh, it's just a bug. Just a bug. That's all it is. But see, looking back, I believe the Ground Zero listeners already knew and have already known that what is up. They know what's going on. They know what's up. There are too many anomalies. And this is why people sense, I mean, we've been right here the whole time. We're quite aware of the Cyber Polygon plans of the elite. Remember that they see a cyber or cell phone failure as similar to a pandemic. They treat everything like a pandemic. I mean, it's always comforting when a guy with a thick German accent talks about how he wants to control everything. Like a good neighbor, Klaus Schwab is there. Klaus Schwab explains that with all the disasters that are coming our way, there are solutions that he has this big bag of tricks that he can do his magic. You know, there's all these magic tricks. So how long is it going to take those that are outside our little circle here to process this reality? How long is it going to take where people wise up and understand that we, as Ground Zero listeners and participators, we've known for a long time that this was been in the works, and this just might be a taste of an even bigger problem. We seem to be only at the early stages of understanding, much less resisting what's about to go down. We seem to feel as if we are tangled in that web they continue to weave. Think of your cell phone for a minute. Think of your cell phone as being like the telescreen in Orwell's 1984. Now, think of how important it is for the global governments to continue to use this mechanism in order to have a one-way ticket to your choices and feelings. They're not going to let the power go out on your cell phone. They're not going to let the power go out on your bank account because they're going to use these phased arrays to bring in digital currency. They're going to use these phased arrays to bring in phones that will work even in power failures. Systems won't go down if you're the transmitter. Systems won't go down if the trees are taken down, so these phased arrays can use you and your sweat glands as a transmitter. You know, technology is great. It's a great thing for humans. And this has been proved time and again. But, it's a bad thing. It's a very bad thing when this technology is controlled by a cartel of people who don't give a damn about you and have no respect for anything. We have Jimmy Jean coming up on Ground Zero. Be sure to tune in for that. 503-225-0860. That's 503-225-0860. We'll be back with more Ground Zero. Don't go away.
Why your inalienable rights are so vital in these uncertain times? Check out the Unsuppressed podcast on aftermath.media. Join Wes, Bill, Patrick, and Avery as they discuss the fundamentals of urban and wilderness survival, disaster preparedness, gear discussions, and so much more. Check it out with your premium Aftermath subscription, and make sure you stay unsuppressed.
Hey, it's Clyde. I'd like to welcome back our good friends, the United Gold Group. Their mission is to help you achieve financial sovereignty by mitigating financial risks through diversification. They have assisted many Ground Zero listeners in rolling over their retirement plans from annuities, mutual funds, stocks, bonds, and CDs into qualified plans. With their unique full-service approach, they will work with you to formulate a precious metals investment strategy that caters to your individual needs. As you well know, we are living in perilous times with increasing inflation and uncertainty about the coming digital currency system. Protect your assets and secure your future. Let the United Gold Group help you navigate these turbulent economic waters. Just call them now at 800-753-8534. Again, that's 800-753-8534. You can also contact them online at unitedgoldgroup.com.
Did you know that our bodies are 75% water and H2O is the most important aspect of healing? Restructured water is the world's most eco-friendly alkaline water system as it eliminates bacteria, viruses, heavy metals, chlorine, fluoride, and other harmful chemicals while maintaining all the beneficial minerals and hydrogen that your body needs. For more information, go to onfurther.com or call 251-284-2737.
Hey, are you sick and tired of getting sick and feeling tired? Clyde Lewis here for New Eden, the comprehensive nutritional support for improved health. This mixture of micronutrients returns to the modern diet vital nutrients once found in the family garden or orchard. This is a modern application of ancient nutritional traditions and knowledge of nature, formulated from years of research by Dr. Reg McDaniel, MD. Each ingredient, New Eden, is all natural, meticulously sourced and processed for optimal nourishment with no GMOs, gluten-free and vegan-friendly. Health benefits include improved mental clarity, get rid of that brain fog, even energy throughout the day, and better sleep at night. Nutrition is the foundation for all efforts to assure and preserve a good quality of life. New Eden supports your immune system in healing, and your purchase supports Ground Zero. So go to New Eden today. That's newedenhealth.com/Clyde. NewEdenHealth.com/Clyde.
Statements have not been evaluated by the FDA and not intended to treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
If you're looking for a thought-provoking multimedia platform about current events, trending news, pop culture, conspiracies, and the paranormal, you need to sign up for GroundZero's exclusive digital playground, Aftermath.media. Their website includes years of archived shows and podcasts from GroundZero with Clyde Lewis and the Secret Teachings with Ryan Gable. You'll have access to over 200 documentaries and movies from some of the greatest minds in the last 50 years in their video section. In addition, you can watch live video stream of GroundZero. Also, there's monthly chats with Clyde along with intriguing and educational webinars. Each subscription includes tech support, RSS feeds, a chat room, and social media channel. Be sure to check out their yearly specials for basic and premium memberships. So sign up today at Aftermath.media. That's Aftermath.media.
Tonight, it is a pleasure on Ground Zero to bring in Jimmy Jean, podcast host of Into the Microcosm. He's had a 25-year career in the telecommunications industry, both wired and wireless telecommunications. His company serviced telecommunication giants AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, and responsible 350 cell sites in the Sprint Nextel network in California. His company serviced Fortune 100 clients for Sprint Nextel and has worked with some of the leaders in the industry to develop systems on the bleeding edge of wireless transmission. Jimmy Jean, welcome to Ground Zero.
Hey, Clyde, great to be here. Thanks for having me. Real important conversation, and I'm super happy to be here.
Yeah, I think it is very important. I'm glad we were able to get a hold of you to come on and talk about this. So, okay, we've had so many different explanations for what may have happened today, but now it seems that they have kind of erased the idea that it was a bug. We're now looking into quite possibly a hacking job that happened with a clearance area for the pharmaceutical companies, United Health Group and others. And we have all of these phones that went down today. What are your overall feelings about what we saw?
Well, immediately the first thing I thought of was there's, a whole generation of people that don't know what it's like not to have a cell phone. And so, I'm sure there was a lot of anxiety that went on. And I also, you remember when they had the disaster in Puerto Rico? And
yes.
All the cell phones and towers got knocked out. And there was this picture, it's burned in my mind, but there was this picture of all these people standing there. So people standing on the roof of their cars with their arms up as high as they could get them, trying to get some signal off the cell tower that was sitting there. And that's how, the world we live in is built on that technology. And so, when the Telecommunications Act happened, when Clinton was in office, a lot of changes happened. So in the past, AT&T was responsible for bringing the cable and managing cable all across the United States. And so they began to sell long distance over AT&T's wire. And so AT&T said, well, we're not going to put wire from, we're not going to do it anymore. So the last mile is where the big snafu happened, because in order for people to get high-speed internet into certain locations, they had to, either put it in the ground with fiber or whatever, or use wireless. So it's a lot cheaper and easier to go the wireless route. So you see, our future has been built on this, and one of the things that it's built on heavily in the future in 15-minute cities is going to be 5G transmission. So, right. As far as the using the person themselves as a transmission device, I would not say that is not. I would say that is possible, and it's been proven to be able to be done. But if you didn't want to have to go that far, all you really have to do is think about all the different devices that we have, because these create these personal area networks. And this is where it gets into some of this beam forming technology that you were talking about earlier.
It's interesting you bring that up because, yeah, what I gathered was I looked at the people aspects first, and that's one of the things that I saw with the phased array and how they want to improve the phased array system. They're removing trees in order to do this. They removed trees from my area where I live. In fact, that's one of the reasons why I couldn't come into work the other day, was because we were told either to lock down or to get out. And I slept in because they wanted me out of my apartment at 7:30 in the morning, and I slept through my alarm. And so then Liam was talking to a guy in a hard hat, and they said, well, you're not going to leave your home at all because we're going to be removing the trees. And I overheard the guy saying we're removing the trees because of 5G problems. And I wondered, that's bizarre. And so I wanted to do some studying to find out exactly why, because, you know, we all have 5G now. It's a part of our lives. And there were warnings that when 5G would be put in, everybody would get sick and people would be dying and everything. And apparently, you know, you can't necessarily pinpoint those who have died from diseases caused by 5G.
No.
But then I read about the phased array system that is going to change the way it's all done. And that you're right. It's not just that human beings are going to have that overlap. Because, you know, the more human beings are in a room, the more the powers can jump from them to them to them to them. Not only that, but systems that are made for the phased array are also going to generate more electromagnetic smog. So you're right about that, because I read that and I was just thinking, yeah, what about all of the other systems around you, your refrigerator, your dishwasher, all these systems that can talk to your smart meter? How's that going to affect you?
Well, I think it's going to affect you in quite a bit. I mean, you heard the caller earlier about the you know, people are having these heart problems, these arrhythmia, and these different heart issues. And, you know, I mean, I'd be willing to bet you 9 times out of 10, if you look, there's probably there's a smart meter somewhere, you know, in the vicinity of that person's life, you know, their bedroom where they sleep, you know, spend a lot of your time sleeping. On the other side of the wall, there's something that's transmitting at a frequency, you know. So, I mean, everything is built on it. I mean, you know, that's what Tesla, you know, you guys were talking about Tesla earlier, and, you know, he said, you know, frequency was the basis of everything. And so
there's also the, I don't know if you've heard of this, it's called the ghost feeling, that there's enough electromagnetic smog transferring from appliance to appliance. And with the new array systems that they're putting in, people are going to have these feelings of ghosts. They're going to feel like that they're out of their bodies. They're going to feel they'll be hallucinating, and that's something that I was reading about as well.
Well, you know, I think your show was key. I came on and we talked about it because there was a lot of insanity that was running around coming up, leading up to this rollout of the 5G. And I think, you know, on your show we talked about it before. We can talk about it again now because, you know, 5G doesn't just mean the same thing everywhere. Right. So 5G for cell phone transmission means one thing. But then you also have 5G or 5 gigahertz internet 802.11 signal. And so the reason we're bringing it up tonight on the show, ladies and gentlemen, is because a lot of this 5G transmission has to happen, and these antennas have to be, you know, within a certain amount of footage between each other. And so that requires a lot of installing and of different, you know, antennas here and there. So, but the thing is what everyone has in their house, they have a 5G router that's normally supplied by the, you know, provider, wherever your internet provider is. All right. So this 5 gigahertz 802.11 router is in your house, blasting in your house 24 hours a day. It's like blasting outside. You know, I could walk around outside your house with my Google phone and I'll get service just like a cell phone network.
Right.
And so this same beam forming technology is also present on these 5G routers that are in your house. And the reason I'm bringing it up is because the difference between 5G 802.11 internet transmission and 5G cell transmission is every single cell carrier is broadcasting at a different frequency.
Yeah.
So Verizon is not the same as AT&T. Is not the same as whoever. So, but it's the same everywhere for 5G, 5 gigahertz 802.11. So that's the difference between Clyde singing a song in baritone and I'm singing in a mid-range because we're cell phone carriers, and then everybody else all singing in the same note over there with 5G. So I think the 5 gigahertz internet transmission and those devices that are pretty much everywhere creating sort of an ad hoc invisible network, Clyde. So every single place an internet router from a provider is within a concentric circle of another internet device. It creates a network and extends the range of that network using that device in an ad hoc fashion.
Exactly. And whatever else is left, Starlink will take care of. And it just seems that we're being bombarded left and right by these beams and the phased arrays, and that is their solution to the power problems, some of them we saw today with the outage and the possible attack, cyber attack. 503-225-0860. Jimmy Jean with us. Call in tonight, 503-225-0860. We'll be back with more. Don't go away.
Where is my mind? Where is my mind? Where is my mind? Lay out in the water, see it swimming.
With SRN News, I'm Tasha Stevens. An investigation into Thursday's cell phone outages is looking into whether or not it is part of a cyber attack. AT&T's cell phone service is fully restored after being out for most of the day. Reports say the FBI, Department of Homeland Security, and other agencies are looking into the cause to see if it is a cyber attack or just technical difficulties. Also Thursday, the National Weather Service experienced a temperature outage. Automated temperatures were not posting for cities across the central and eastern U.S. Automated temperature reports that usually update throughout the day were showing up blank Thursday afternoon. A representative said they're working to fix the problem. Temperatures recorded by the National Weather Service are kept as official records dating back as far as the 1800s. Google's putting its Gemini AI image generator on hold after it produced what the company calls inaccurate historical images. This is SRN News.
You know, you see a huge group of people and maybe they're in line to do something and they seem happy about it. You have to wonder, okay, what am I missing? What's going on here? What are these people excited about? Well, in this case, it's thousands of people and they're joining MediShare. Why? Well, MediShare is a much more affordable alternative to health insurance. It's reliable, too. It's a well-run community of Christians. They've been sharing each other's medical expenses for more than 30 years, so it's proven. And if you switch, you'll likely save hundreds of dollars a month. Most members wind up paying about half what they used to. And you know what? They find they like it better. MediShare's member satisfaction rate is 98%. That's way better than health insurance, as you might imagine. You don't have to pay for things you don't believe in. You get telehealth 24/7, huge freedom in choosing your doctors. At least check into it. This may be one of those things where you're like, why didn't I do this a long time ago? Why not start saving now? Call 844-45-BIBLE. That's 844-45-BIBLE. 844-45-BIBLE.
Crime across the country is at an all-time high. It feels like even a family road trip is taking a risk. We don't want the feeling of being unprotected and vulnerable. We found GetCCL.com. GetCCL.com gave us the help we needed to apply for a legal concealed carry permit that's recognized in over half of the country. GetCCL.com simplifies the process to apply, and it's all online. We used their free qualification process to answer a few questions and applied for our permit right from home. Thanks to reciprocity laws between states, when you're issued a New Hampshire concealed carry permit, you can legally carry in any state that recognizes your New Hampshire permit. It only takes minutes to apply, so don't wait. Exercise your rights today. Ensure you're protecting your family at home and in other states. Have peace of mind. Apply today. Go to GetCCL.com. That's GetCCL.com. Go to GetCCL.com. Exercise your rights today. Go to GetCCL.com.
In today's troubled world, our USA Armed Forces stand ready to protect you, your family, and our American way of life. When veterans return to civilian life, they deserve your recognition and support. You can help put vets to work by donating your car, truck, or van to Patriotic Hearts. Your donation will directly support programs to help vets find jobs or even start their own business. Donate today for fast, free pickup of your vehicle, running or not. Operators are standing by to answer questions about making a tax-deductible vehicle donation. Find out how you can make a difference in the life of a United States veteran. Call 800-209-4580.
Wireless industry is in a race to roll out 5G service. Now, 5G is supposed to be up to 100 times faster than current data speeds. Could have used it on Amtrak yesterday.
Wham! The horrible noise comes in and completely destroys you.
Right, so with the lights out, you don't feel them.
If the current's not flowing, no.
Oh, sorry about the exit signs. I guess they couldn't kill those for you.
Well, they're not drawing much current and they're far away. Intensity drops off with distance per the inverse square law.
Got it. So if I had a small battery, say from a watch or something, and I got it close to you, close to your skin, you'd know.
I would feel it, yes.
Can you feel more current coming from any particular direction right now?
What do I have to do to prove it to you?
Could you reach into your breast pocket and tell me what's there? Can you tell the court what that was?
Battery.
Mr. Chairman, please.
What does the radiation do to them, precisely?
Ionizing radiation tears the cellular structure apart. Skin blisters, turns red and black. This is followed by a latency period. The immediate effects subside. The patient appears to be recovering. Healthy even, but they aren't. And the cellular damage begins to manifest. The bone marrow dies. The immune system fails. The organs and soft tissue begin to decompose. The arteries and veins spill open like sieves. Within 3 days to 3 weeks, you're dead.
Everyone's got a cell phone. Compact fluorescent lights are the norm, and we cook our dinners in the microwave every night. Could all these electromagnetic waves whipping around be harmful?
And I believe our current implementation of wireless technology is not safe.
I'm Clyde Lewis. You are listening to Ground Zero. Numbers to call tonight, 503-225-0860. Jimmy Jean is with us talking about the outage today, the possible cyber attack. According to the book, The Invisible Rainbow, A History of Electricity and Life, Arthur Furstenberg writes this. He says, they're going to concentrate their energy, and this is talking about the future utility that we talked about after all we have wiped out. The World Economic Forum comes forward, and they are going to concentrate their energy in narrow, steerable, high-power beams. The arrays are going to track each other so that wherever you are, a beam from your smartphone is going to be aimed directly at the base station cell tower, and a beam from the base station is going to be aimed directly at you. If you walk between someone's phone and the base station, both beams will go right through your body. The beam from the tower will hit you, even if you're in the general vicinity of someone who's on a smartphone. And if you're in a crowd, multiple beams are going to overlap and be unavoidable in the future. So there you go. As Jimmy Jean was saying, under the same power and frequency of direct energy weapons, we shall be in the future. Jimmy Jean with us tonight on Ground Zero. Very fascinating that this is the new utility that they've been proposing for the World Economic Forum. And someone had brought up, and I'm sure you'd agree, this is kind of like the Tesla technology that was first proposed.
Yeah, that was a great caller. The guy was from the Navy, and people in the Navy know a lot about wireless transmission. That's for sure. I mean, they see birds drop out of the sky when certain things are turned on. So it's not good, and that's the way it is. But the problem is, like we're talking about 5G, and the time to stop it from being what it is today, it was back when it was 3G. Basically. So the horse is out of the barn now, and there's billions of dollars invested in the future of these autonomous vehicles driving around on 5G. And these cell carriers, their 5G or their envision of 5G is different people are going to pay for different services. And so this car or that autonomous vehicle will buy service from, say, Verizon or AT&T. and get their 5G from them, and built into the they'll pick a car manufacturer that'll build in the specific transmitters for that particular frequency for that cell carrier that cuts deals or whatever for the future. But in the future, in these 15-minute cities, no one's going to be driving around in their own personal vehicle. You're not going to pull up in your 6.4 or whatever. You're going to be in an autonomous little cab thing, bubble vehicle that goes around to the little wherever you go in there. But I mean, you said you called it earlier. So AT&T, they market cell phones to different demographics. So
sure.
They own, AT&T owns the service, the cell site, the tower, the space, and these other carriers come in there. They don't own anything, and they just come in and say, "Hey, my name's Jublo Wireless Company, Cricket. Right. I'm Cricket, but I'm really not Cricket. I'm really AT&T. I'm just leasing some stuff off of AT&T. I don't have to actually have any equipment." And that's how, T-Mobile started the same way. They didn't have anything in the beginning, and then eventually they built a network.
I remember one thing you turned me on to a long time ago that gave me the creeps, and that is the idea that if you look at a map, a registration map in any county that talks about cell towers, they will give you the number and the company that operates that cell tower.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing that's most creepy. There are cell towers that are put up all over an area. Some of them are not registered to any company or have any number, and they're there. That's the thing that I remember you showing me that map. And I was thinking to myself, wow, how many cell towers are going up everywhere and you don't know who is behind that cell tower and why it's there?
No. The thing is you can, anybody, the airwaves used to belong to the people. They were the people's airwaves, but the Telecommunications Act, sold the airwaves to different people who bought up frequency. And so all that rainbow has already been bought up, so now they need other spectrum to use. And so now there's all these different ways and methods of utilizing wireless technology. It's being utilized all around us every day, and no one even knows what's going on.
What does that do to brain chemistry?
Well, obviously, every single emotion has been measured, and they know the frequency of anger or apathy or whatever it is. So if you look at something called the gateway document, it's the gateway process. There's a summary of the gateway process where it talks about the human being resonating and with the most dominant frequency around it. So we're supposed to be walking around on the earth barefooted, resonating with the Schumann resonance, through our spine, and our head. We're an antenna. We are the technology that we've developed, in standing alone. You've done countless shows about subjects such as these. Mm-hmm. But the point of the matter is that there's other signals that are more dominant. So we're our antenna will focus in on whatever's the strongest signal. So we have all these signals all around us at all times now. So now they have something, Clyde, called the dark room, where you can make a room in your house where you're not affected by these outside wireless technologies.
You mean like a Faraday cage?
Kind of like a Faraday cage, where you go in this room, there are no wireless signals coming in from the outside. You see a lot of the elite people building their homes with these specific ways of putting things together so that the wireless doesn't come in the house.
Yeah, I was reading somewhere also they're going to have to start stating in national parks as to whether or not they are 5G friendly or without 5G or without any kind of electronic smog signals going anywhere within the trees or the area in which you're going in. Because you're going to find in the future that you're not going to be able to escape the phasing arrays. Phasing arrays are going to be everywhere, and this is the utility they're proposing for the future. Far more, I guess you could say, cell crushing than 5G is. Of course, as we were saying earlier with Jimmy Jean here, that 5G is different things for different people. But the phasing arrays, as they interlock in everything from your appliances to people, you're going to be bringing with you all that stuff into the forest primeval, and you're not going to be able to avoid any of it. It's scary to think about, but it's true. Jimmy Jean with us tonight on Ground Zero. Going to the calls coming up. 503-225-0860. That's 503-225-0860. We'll be back. Hey guys, it's Clyde, and we have some exciting news to share with you. The new version of the Aftermath.media website. It's arrived with enhanced features and a user-friendly dashboard. It's GroundZero's private digital playground, which includes podcasts, videos, documents, webinars, and a lot more. Each subscription includes tech support, RSS feeds, a chat room, and social media. Please sign up today at Aftermath.media. That's Aftermath.media. Hey, are you sick and tired of getting sick and feeling tired? Clyde Lewis here for New Eden, the comprehensive nutritional support for improved health. This mixture of micronutrients returns to the modern diet vital nutrients once found in the family garden or orchard. This is a modern application of ancient nutritional traditions and knowledge of nature, formulated from years of research by Dr. Reg McDaniel, MD. Each ingredient, New Eden, is all natural, meticulously sourced and processed for optimal nourishment with no GMOs, gluten-free and vegan-friendly. Health benefits include improved mental clarity, get rid of that brain fog, even energy throughout the day, and better sleep at night. Nutrition is the foundation for all efforts to assure and preserve a good quality of life. New Eden supports your immune system in healing, and your purchase supports GroundZero. So go to New Eden today. That's newedenhealth.com/Clyde. newedenhealth.com/Clyde.
Statements have not been evaluated by the FDA and not intended to treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Hey, it's Clyde. I'd like to welcome back our good friends, the United Gold Group. Their mission is to help you achieve financial sovereignty by mitigating financial risks through diversification. They have assisted many GroundZero listeners in rolling over their retirement plans from annuities, mutual funds, stocks, bonds, and CDs into qualified plans. With their unique full-service approach, they will work with you to formulate a precious metals investment strategy that caters to your individual needs. As you well know, we are living in perilous times with increasing inflation and uncertainty about the coming digital currency system. Protect your assets and secure your future. Let the United Gold Group help you navigate these turbulent economic waters. Just call them now at 800-753-8534. Again, that's 800-753-8534. You can also contact them online at unitedgoldgroup.com.
My Patriot Supply is America's leading emergency preparedness company and believe it's every person's patriotic duty to achieve true freedom from our world's increasingly unreliable and fragile systems. The best way to do this is to invest in your personal liberty, because you can't rely on governments or corporations for the basics of life. Act now and secure at least a 4-week emergency food kit full of tasty meals that provide 2,000 calories a day. They have dozens of emergency food storage kits to choose from, along with a variety of survival products. Despite these difficult times, My Patriot Supply has kept their commitment to you with well-stocked emergency supplies. They will deliver them quickly and discreetly with friendly 24/7 customer service. Stay alert and prepared, friends. Let everyone else take tomorrow for granted. Go to preparewithgroundzero.com. That's preparewithgroundzero.com.
Did you know that our bodies are 75% water and H2O is the most important aspect of healing? Restructured water is the world's most eco-friendly alkaline water system, as it eliminates bacteria, viruses, heavy metals, chlorine, fluoride, and other harmful chemicals while maintaining all the beneficial minerals and hydrogen that your body needs. For more information, go to onfurther.com or call 251-284-2737.
This just in. AT&T has just told ABC News in a statement that the outage was not a cyber attack, but caused by the application and execution of an incorrect process used as we were expanding our network. They say, we are continuing to assess today's outage to ensure we keep delivering the service that our customers deserve. Software update went wrong, according to preliminary information from 2 sources familiar with the situation. Sources have told ABC News that there was nothing nefarious or malicious about the incident. That sounds so corporate, doesn't it, Jimmy Jean?
It does, but what are you going to say? I mean, the thing is, people, it's moments like this when you realize just what you were saying earlier, how delicate things are. and it's a coincidence here in California that AT&T applied for a waiver here to stop servicing and being in charge of landlines. Just recently.
I kind of touched on that a little bit, but
Yeah.
go into detail for just a few seconds here.
Yeah, so I mean, we were talking about it earlier. It's the last mile. So these lines that are going to everyone's house. I mean, if you try to get a landline right now and just try to have one just for an emergency, because I mean, back in the day when you had a landline, if the power went out, your phone still works. But see, people are still under the impression things are the way they used to be. But when your power goes out, you don't have a router, you have no internet. Without internet, you have no phone. So without a hard line landline there's even people that have determined to find voltage on these lines. In the event of an emergency, you can literally charge devices off of these voltages that still exist on the old phone systems. I mean, even if you look at the movie The Matrix, where did they come in? They came in through the old phone lines, didn't they?
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. That's because
amazing.
I know.
Yeah. That way we can't have any Matrix situations. We get rid of the landlines. Let's go to the phones. James in Vancouver, you're on with Jimmy Jean. Go ahead.
Yes, well, Clyde, this proves that if your smartphone does not work, then you can go get the Neuralink. It works. How's that?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's like I said, what isn't being taken care of by this new phased array is going to be taken care of by Neuralink. And Neuralink, of course, is going to be utilizing the idea of connecting directly from machine to brain.
Right. And the question then is what's the relationship, say, between AT&T and Elon Musk then? Somebody should look into that.
Yeah.
Thanks. I'll let you guys go.
Oh, thank you.
Bye now.
That's a great call. All right, let's go to Mike in Colorado. Hey, Mike, you're on with Jimmy Jean. Go ahead.
Hi, Clive. How are you today?
Good.
Good to talk to you. Hey, first off, I want to make you laugh, and then I'll tell you why. My closest friends call me RX.
Okay.
And the reason is because for years I've been stockpiling medication because, it's like you talked about, it's becoming harder and harder and harder to get meds.
Right.
And if I'm prescribed some meds, if I don't take them all, I keep them. I mean, I have penicillin, I have antibiotics, I have Z-Packs, you name it. I have 2 shoe boxes full of meds. And I asked the doctor one time if meds ever went bad. He said no, they just kind of lose their potency over time. But I've been stockpiling them because it is becoming harder and harder and harder to get meds that you need.
I agree. And here's what's interesting. I was reading the other day that, we always talk about My Patriot Supply as providing food and stoves and all these other things for people in case of an emergency. There's now a company that's organizing, I think they're out of Canada, they're organizing what are called med storage, where certain meds can be, you can get certain meds without a prescription, but you can get them, ordering them in a business level. So you have to get things like antibiotics, you get things like, simple pain meds, you can't get any controlled substances, other meds that are available to help, give you energy to take care of nausea, like things like Zofran and other things that are available. You can get all those drugs that are there. Also, iodine, things of that nature in case of radiation poisoning. So they're starting up this idea. What's that?
I said I have that as well.
Yeah. So it sounds like you're prepared. But, yeah, they seem to be wanting now to get into this, the idea of rather than having just a first aid kit, you have a medicine kit that will be able – I mean, you can use it as currency, they're saying, which I agree. I mean, medications will be used as currency in the future.
I'll be darned. That's interesting. I didn't know that. But, yeah, I mean, I have things – I mean, you can't – I don't even think they prescribe penicillin anymore.
Well, it's because some people either can't tolerate it or they're already, the bugs they get cannot be beaten by penicillin.
Sure.
So you need things like erythromycin. You need Z-Packs are always, I always call them miracle packs because you take one and then all you have to do is, you take 2 and then all you have to do is take 1 a day for like 4 days.
Right, exactly. And whatever I don't use, I save. A lot of people say, well, throw away your old meds. If you don't use them, get rid of them. But I I keep them because I figure, well, it's going to be hard to get them if you need them.
Yep. That's why I say they could be currency in the future. So, Mike, thank you for the call. I really appreciate. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things too is that we learned with this attack. They're calling it a cyber attack now on the pharmaceutical companies, but AT&T is now kind of covering their asses by saying, "Oh, no, it's just a bug." I doubt that. I really doubt that. But like you say, Jimmy Jean, what are we going to say to them? We can't question them because that's their corporate stand here.
Well, I mean, you remember the movie The President's Analyst? Everything. The sinister force behind everything was the phone company TPC.
Yeah.
And right, I mean, even if you go back and look at that movie, there's an example of neural links. It's not like Elon Musk thought it up. I mean, it's right there in that movie. When was that movie made, Clyde? President's Analyst was Lee
I can't remember. It was a while ago. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Years ago.
Yeah.
Which spun into things like the one about the gangster going to the therapist. And
yeah, exactly.
Analyze this and the Sopranos and all that. Let's go to Barbani calling in from Arizona. Hey, Barbani, you're on Ground Zero.
Hi, and hi, Jimmy Jean, and happy birthday from all of Aftermath Chat.
Yeah, happy birthday, Clyde.
And there's a flip side to the glitches. I just want to step to the side and talk about EVs, because with what happened in Chicago, how they couldn't get recharged, and what people discovered, a number of builders of vehicles stopped building them, people weren't buying them, and now there's a political pushback to Biden. So may those glitches happen. And there are conversations like this where people can thoroughly discuss it. In the case of what's happening with smart meters, there are now physicians that will go out on a limb and write excuses to where you don't have to have a smart meter. And this is a heads up for people in my community. It's rural, but there are laws, and in our area, we prohibit towers from going up unless they meet certain requirements for distances, and at that, it has to be approved. So people should look into that. And the last thing is bodily autonomy. It's time that people think about doing something that becomes part of our rights,
right?
Where we have some say over it.
Cognitive liberty is very important. Cognitive sanctity and sovereignty is also important. Mm-hmm. Very, very good call. Because, yeah, that's the thing, is it's invading our minds, invading our bodies, and we need to stand up to that. I appreciate that. Jimmy Jean, always a pleasure. Tell us about your podcast and when it airs.
Hey, Clyde Lewis, you are the Ayatollah of rock and roll.
Thank you.
You can see me on Friday nights on YouTube, Into the Microcosm with Jimmy Jean. Thanks, Clyde. Really appreciate it, man.
Hey, thank you for an informative show tonight. Remember, everybody, keep your mind where they can't get at it. You keep it at Ground Zero. We'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, there it goes, Clyde Lewis. All right, you guys. I got to get to bed because I got to get up at 5 a.m. So I'll talk to you soon, tomorrow night, 9 o'clock Pacific. All right. Talk to you later. See you.